What if I told you the biggest reason most people never reach their potential has nothing to do with talent or intelligence? It's confidence. Not loud, fake confidence, but the quiet kind. The unshakable belief that you are enough even before you succeed. I didn't realize that until I stopped comparing myself to everyone else. And the change that followed? It's the reason I now wake up clear, certain, and finally free. Here's what happened when I stopped chasing what others had and started becoming who I was meant to be. For most of my life, I measured my worth like a scoreboard. Every success someone else had felt like a reminder of what I didn't. New jobs, new followers, new milestones, each one quietly whispered, "You're behind." Renowned psychologist Leon Festinger described this as social comparison theory back in 1954. He discovered that people have an almost automatic instinct to evaluate themselves by comparing themselves to others. And in today's world of social media, that instinct has turned into an addiction. A study published in Computers in Human Behavior found that more than 70% of people experience increased dissatisfaction after scrolling social media, especially when exposed to success or appearance-based posts. The more we compare, the worse we feel. And I felt that deeply. The more I looked outward, the less I knew myself. I wasn't living my life, just reacting to theirs, and probably living theirs. But one day I noticed something strange. The people I admired most didn't seem to compare at all. They moved with quiet confidence, as if they were playing their own game. That's when I realized, maybe the problem wasn't that I wasn't good enough. Maybe the problem was that I was measuring the wrong things. Here's what truth I discovered. Success without self-worth feels empty. You can achieve goals, win awards, even impress people. But if deep down you still believe you're not enough, your confidence collapses the moment life challenges you. Psychologist Jennifer Crocker developed something called the contingencies of self-worth scale. It shows that most people base their self-worth on external factors: appearance, achievement, approval, and comparison. But that kind of worth is fragile. Lose one job, gain a few pounds, get rejected once, and your confidence shatters. Another study using the Rosenberg self-esteem scale found that low self-esteem directly predicts procrastination and anxiety. It's not laziness, it's fear of not being enough. I started seeing that pattern in myself. Every time I hesitated to apply for an opportunity, every time I scrolled instead of creating, it wasn't because I didn't know what to do. It was because I doubted I could do it. That's when it hit me. Confidence isn't built by doing more. It's built by believing you're enough before you do, believing in your inner strength, believing that what you are convinced from within you is achievable. So I stopped asking, am I good enough? I'm sure you have asked that question too. And I started asking, what if I stopped comparing and started understanding myself? The turning point came quietly. One morning I sat in silence. No phone, no music, just me and my thoughts. And I asked myself a question I'd never truly faced. What do I actually want? Not what they wanted, not what looked good online, but what felt right. That single question changed everything. I discovered that clarity isn't just about setting goals. It's about remembering who you are when the noise stops to forge ahead. Psychologist Abraham Tesser's self-evaluation maintenance theory explains that our self-esteem rises or falls depending on how we see others performing around us. But when we anchor our identity in our own values, those external performances lose their power. It was like wiping fog off a mirror. I finally saw myself clearly. The need to compete softened. I began creating from peace instead of pressure. And once clarity set in, confidence followed. Not overnight, but slowly. Quietly, like a sunrise after a storm. That's when I started to rebuild, from the inside out, and the journey of clarity began. Here's what that rebuild looked like. 5 principles, 5 shifts that changed everything. 1. Limit upward comparison. Every time you compare, you waste energy measuring a life that isn't yours. Research from Frontiers in Psychology found that reducing exposure to idealized social media content significantly improves mood and self-esteem within 2 weeks. We made a video on how to reduce social media addiction in one of our videos, so I started curating my digital world. I muted anything that made me feel less. It wasn't about jealousy, it was about focus. 2. Redefine success with internal metrics. I stopped counting likes and started counting hours spent doing meaningful work. A study on intrinsic motivation and performance found that people driven by internal satisfaction outperform those chasing external validation by over 30% on creative tasks. My new metric became alignment. Am I moving toward what feels true? 3. Practice self-compassion, not perfection. According to Dr. Kristen Neff, a leading researcher on self-compassion, people who treat themselves kindly after failure recover faster and persist longer. So instead of saying, "I failed," I learned to say, "I'm learning." And that changed how I approached everything, from creating to connecting. 4. Build micro-confidence through action. Confidence is not a thought. It's a byproduct of repeated courage. Stanford psychologist Albert Bandura called this self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to succeed in specific situations. Small wins, done consistently, create momentum. So I started small. One video, one post, one honest conversation. Each act became proof that I could trust myself. 5. Anchor identity in values, not validation. Once I aligned my life with what I truly valued, curiosity, honesty, growth, clarity became a compass. Even when I failed, I no longer felt lost because I wasn't chasing applause. I was following my purpose. That's when the noise stopped mattering. Confidence stopped being something I performed and started being something I became. Looking back now, the transformation still surprises me. Before clarity, my days were scattered. I said yes when I meant no. I overthought everything. And even when I achieved it, it never felt enough. Now, I move slower but surer. I speak less but with intention. And the goals I once chased now chase me. That's the paradox, right? When you stop comparing, you stop competing, and you start creating. According to a meta-analysis in the Journal of Personality, people with stable self-esteem experience 40% higher life satisfaction and resilience. Confidence doesn't make life perfect. It makes it navigable. I used to think clarity was something I'd find outside there, but it was always inside, with me, waiting for me to stop looking around and finally look within. If you're tired of feeling behind, remember this. You don't need to become someone new. You just need to stop comparing and rediscover the person you already are. The 2% who succeed aren't born confident. They simply decided to stop doubting themselves and start believing. The moment you do the same, you'll realize you were never behind. You were just waiting to begin. I'm sure this message has touched you in one way or the other. Don't let it stop with you. Share it with someone. This might be the source of motivation they have been waiting for, to lift them from that state of low confidence to a state of gaining confidence and maintaining confidence in order to achieve success. It is never too late to make the right decision. The only person that failed is the person that did not try at all. We believe you can help make our channel grow by supporting our course and subscribing to this channel. Thank you for watching. Go and gain confidence and be successful. See you in our next video.